Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We are right on time for this very ambitious session with my two new hospitality friends, Maya and Shaikha. We've known each other only for 1 week, but I'm sure you'll find that it is as if we've known each other for years. So thanks very much for spending some time with us today. This session is called Breaking Barriers, Shaping the Future, Women in Tourism and Hospitality Leadership. As you know, women stands for 56% of the hospitality workforce, but at this summit, we're only 20% represented in leadership position. Hence, the importance of empowering women into hospitality positions. And today, what we would love to do is to share with you the career path, but also the personal stories of Shaikha from Rotana Hospitality and Maya from Accor. So let's go. So girls, thanks very much. We've been very excited, and I'm sure you can notice by the sound of my voice. Some people would say that it's my natural state, but I am actually very, very happy about this panel. We've been prepping very carefully because our objective is really to be able to inspire more women into the industry and also play our part, in shaping the way for future opportunities for women in Saudi, but also globally. So none of you actually chose hospitality as your preferred industry in your career path. So what I would love to hear, and I would love you to share with our audience today, is how you are now, how you landed into your leadership position. So Shaikha, would you like to start maybe?
Thank you so much for the nice introduction, Lynn. And it's an honor to be here today. It's an honor to be invited by FHS. I thank them very much for inviting us to be part of this very inspiring panel. I just hope that the audience here will be inspired, as you said, inshallah. I started my career in 2008. I graduated from Ziade University. I started my career with KPMG. So I do not come with any hospitality background. I spent 3 years with KPMG in internal audit and external audit. I then was asked by my father to join Rotana Hotels. That was in 2011. So I wasn't, coming from being a fresh graduate. I had a lot of aspirations, and I wasn't yet ready to move on to a new chapter. So I told him, you know what? I don't feel that I have gained enough knowledge from where I am, and I was hoping that I'd stay more to reach to what I had in mind and to get to my expectations. So he said, no, I think it's time for you to come and join me. And that's when I started. So I first had a 3-year full extensive program, and I tapped into a lot of operational departments, so from housekeeping to front office to IT to finance, and it allowed me to get the first-hand experience of how hotels operate. And then I moved on to establishing the internal audit department because I came from an internal audit and external audit background. And this also allowed me to learn a lot about our processes, our standards, our brand standards, and how can we ensure that a lot of hotels are in line with what we have as brand standards, goals, and so forth. Then in 2017, I was appointed as corporate vice president in charge of owners' relations. Most of our, I think most of our success today goes back to our owners who entrusted us from the beginning. So it was keen for us to find the right role to make sure that we sustain this relationship and we grow it further. And people as well, people is very important to us, Lynn. Making sure that we keep the right talent within the company is something that is within the heart of the company.
Thank you very much. Maya, you are the current CDO, that stands for Chief Development Officer for Accor in the region. So you also deal on a daily basis with hotel investors, hotel owners, leadership position. But you had a very different story from Shaikha, who was literally pulled into the industry by the family. Maya, can you please share your happy ending story?
Yes, definitely. First of all, I'm really impressed by the audience. It's mainly male, not female. Thank you for your support. So, yes, it's totally the opposite of Shaikha. Actually, I'm Lebanese. So I think similar to any typical, or most of the typical Lebanese families, my parents asked me to study law. Because, you know, we must be either lawyer, architect, or doctors. So keeping up with their expectations, I studied law. I finished my studies in Lebanon. And this is when, well, actually, I was with a friend of mine who had an offer at a hotel in Dubai. And she rejected this offer. And I took this opportunity because I wanted to start something new. Took this opportunity to apply to this job. And I got accepted immediately. For a short period of time, I must say my parents did not speak to me. They didn't like the fact that, you know, a lawyer going to a hospitality, especially that I started in the F&B. But I must say, you know, the journey from F&B to front office to development was amazing. And hospitality was my choice. My parents asked me to study law, but I chose to go to the hospitality. And this is what I want to say. Hospitality has a lot of human connection and has a lot to do with women because we're driven by emotions, we're driven by passion, and we could give more to the hospitality industry. Having this high emotional intelligence, having the attachment to human, this is in our DNA. And that was the reason behind my choice. And this was in 2002. So make the math about my age. It started in 2002. And to date, I do not regret any step I took in my hospitality journey.
Thank you very much for sharing. So I'm sure you all understood that today Maya's parents speak to her again, even though she stays in hospitality. So now, you know, if I can say, it was the, you know, the nice storytelling and everything. Now let's just face it, as a woman, you know, there are some mornings we wake up, we are thinking about our day, closing deals, dealing with owners, and some days you just want to stay in your bed and watch Netflix. Because there are barriers, because there are challenges, because there are obstacles. If you don't mind, the two of you sharing, with the audience, but hopefully also for the future women who are looking into joining the industry. Can you please share what were one of these obstacles or challenges that you faced, but most importantly, how you managed to cope with it? How, what are the tools or what are the tricks that help you just keep on going and find the strength to stick with your choice? Which one would like to start first? Maya?
So when we take a choice, I think we'll be ready for any challenge. And being very transparent here, yes, I faced many challenges, especially at the beginning of my career. But the challenge, the major challenge that I have faced is the perception of people internally, how they perceived a female developer working in a male-dominant field. That was the main challenge, just the perception. The reality was not the same. So that was a challenge, the major challenge to me, but I think the biggest challenge is our own thoughts. Our own thoughts are the biggest enemies to us. So back then, starting my development career and listening to these perceptions, I self-doubted myself for a short period of time. And I must say that's the biggest challenge that we could all of us face, because this is not reality. This is just a thought. We're thinking that there are challenges and obstacles. But basically, when we think of the result, when we think of the end of the story, we will not see any obstacle on the road, on the way to winning. So the biggest one is my own thoughts, is when I have this period where I self-doubted myself. I had a self-doubt.
Well, sorry. Is it on? Yeah. So self-doubt, very common among female high achievers in every kind of industries, actually, not only hospitality. How do we overcome self-doubt? How do we don't seek always for external validation of our work, but also, our legacy within your leadership position? Maybe Shaikha, any thought on that?
I agree with Maya totally in this. I think acknowledgement is key. So you need to acknowledge that whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, whether it's something that you've achieved or something that you failed, you need to acknowledge that you have done something and you have to appreciate what you did. So acknowledgement is key. Acceptance is another thing as well. And moving on is key. So if you acknowledge and accept, then you'll be able to move on and get on with what's ahead of you. Determination is something else as well, and persistence. So maybe if I can share as well. Maybe at the beginning, coming from a completely different background, which is finance, and going into hospitality, it was a bit difficult. And I don't know how people perceived me, being my father's daughter, but I can tell today that I managed through a lot of examples and through a lot of things that I personally got involved in to prove who I am as Shaikha, not as Shaikha, the daughter of my father, because I believed in it and I fought for it. And as Maya said, I think I feel today that I'm in the right industry, and I'm proud to also be part of the leading hotel management chain in the region, based out of Abu Dhabi. And we're looking as well. We're looking forward to growing this, and it's already international. But we're capable of doing what others are doing, and even better.
If I may add to Shaikha as well, acceptance is very important, and what's important is in acceptance is to accept yourself as is. Yes, we try to develop ourselves, and we should always consistently try to develop ourselves, but we should accept our personality trait. We shouldn't, because we go back to the self-doubt. So acceptance is key, and being your true self, whether at home or at work, is also key, because this is the key of your success. Being yourself. Move on with being your true self.
I totally agree. Being yourself is very important. You cannot change who you are. And if you try to change who you are, you won't be happy. And you won't be able to move on.
So I'm very glad that you ventured into that more personal aspect, because clearly, women in leadership, you have to deal with your career, you have to deal with your family, sometimes with your parents. So can you please maybe reveal what are the tools that you have in your toolbox when we break barriers? So there's a saying, very famous saying, if you break something, you have to pay for it. So since we've been trying to climb and break the different ceilings, is there a price to pay emotionally?
It's your approach.
Sorry?
I think it's your approach about anything you do.
Yeah, right? So
it's your approach, it's how positive you are about things. It's the positive mindset. Lynn, how you deal with, you have to enjoy what you do. And I think our industry is a very interesting industry. It's a very people-oriented industry. And I think the most fun part in our industry is dealing with people and meeting people and seeing how you can contribute and make a difference or make a change to those people. And that's what satisfies you at the end of the day, to me.
Thank you, Maya.
There is definitely a price to pay for everything, especially for us. I know that we would love to be perfect in everything. We would love to be perfect at home, perfect moms, perfect in our business life, perfect wives. So perfection is essential to women. And we seek perfection, but that comes with a price, right? The price, for me personally, was stress. Lack of sleep.
Like many of us.
Yes, exactly. So it's very important to go back to knowing ourselves, what makes us happy. For me, it was, this 30 minutes or 1 hour per day, having my own book, my own coffee, being alone, self-reflect. This is my energy drive. So I ensure that every day I do the same. I have with myself, with Maya, I speak to Maya, or to a book, and this is how I gain energy that could drive me for the whole day, whether in my office or whether in my home. So it's very important for women to find what could drive them, because the day could be draining with work, with the energy you give to your family, energy you give to your team, to the owners. Again, we go back because we have very high emotional intelligence, so we adapt to every personality we see. So this is very key, to find the 30 minutes or 1 hour for yourself, whatever you like. I know Shaikha likes to exercise every day. I like to have my coffee. And the second one, it's very also essential to give back, to support. So at Accor, we have a program, Women in Development, that was launched recently. It's a 6-month program to empower high potential women in leadership position, which is good for Accor, but also it's relatively good for these ladies who have the skills but need some support and some confidence to thrive and step up in their career. So we need to give back to our colleagues, to our community. That will give us also a pleasure and drive to do more and more.
Shaikha, do you have any support system implemented for women empowerment?
My sisters.
Okay.
My sisters are my #1 support. They've always been there for me, through happiness, happy moments. I remember, maybe it's an interesting story to share. In COVID was a very challenging time for our industry. And there's a lot of things we did as a company to look after our people and to make sure that we keep their jobs secured as well. So we tried to repurpose them. And we reached out to health organizations, to logistics centers, to field hospitals, to see how we can either use our housekeeping staff, our skilled people. And the person that helped me with this and helped me secure a contract with the government was my sister. I wouldn't have been able to do it without her. And without the team. We had a great team on board. And because of the team we had, we were able to sustain this. This allowed us to reduce our payroll costs. It showed our owners that we can go out of our way and we can come up with innovative ideas to ensure that their interest is secure, their interest is there. And we also proved to our people, our colleagues, that they're our #1 and we will always be there to support them. So this is something that I think will stay with me forever because, as I said, my sisters are my backbone. And the reason why I am here as well today is because of them.
Well, thanks very much for sharing.
Adding to Maya, exercising is key. So a lot of my colleagues here, I'm sure they know that I'm late to work in the morning, but I'm late because I cannot get on with my day without exercising. And I'm at my highest potential by at least exercising every morning. So they will see me produce more.
So it's actually to their own benefits if, if you're
true.
late.
He is nodding.
And maybe let's try to go back a little bit on how we see the future for women in the industry. That's first of all the theme of the summit, but that's also, I guess the intention that we all have today on this panel is to be able to really, convince and inspire other women to dive into the industry, especially with the numbers and the figures we've seen regarding the development in the region, in Saudi. The way I see it is just an ocean of opportunities for women who are willing to take the risk, to put aside, as you mentioned, maybe self-doubt or biases from the industry. If we had to close on a optimistic and encouraging message, so what would you like to say to the future women who are looking into the industry, but also what is the message you would like to say to your future self? So what would you like to say to the future Maya, the future Shaikha?
I would say to future women or women who are seeking to grow in the hospitality industry, just do it. Don't look at any obstacle, at any challenge, because this is just a perception. This is you thinking about the obstacles, but you need to do it. Just do it. Don't think about it. And the hospitality industry needs women. Diversity is essential, and that will drive also higher return on investment, and this is proven.
I thought the winners were us. Actually, I'm kind of shocked.
We're not
I thought we were the winners. Okay, never mind.
Okay, so I would say to my future self,
Yes.
I embraced every challenge. I am and will be embracing more challenges with being my true self, and in order to grow and keep on growing. And I'll tell my 80 years old Maya, it's just, you'd better be proud of me.
Thank you. Shaikha?
Today we're proud to say that more than 30% of our Saudi workforce are women. So we're not far away from having women in the hospitality sector, and I'm sure many of them are very happy to be part of this industry, because there's no one that can represent hospitality or a country better than people that are from that country. So my message to them is to have faith in God, believe in what you do, fight for it, and just do it. Nothing should stop you. So perseverance is key as well. And having the right people around you is key for you to move on.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us today. And, we welcome all the future women in hospitality along with us. If you want to meet with our speakers, they will be back on their respective booth. This is the communication moment, the Accor booth and the Rotana booth. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.